Coming up on Kochie's Business Builders, we find out how to allocate resources to drive growth, revisit the always bubbly juice gurus at Emma and Tom's, and get some tasty tips from Haig's Chocolates. Hello and welcome to today's episode of KBB. It is going to be a big one. We're going to look at how to best allocate resources to help drive growth, a must-see for any busy small business. Then we revisit Emma and Tom's to find out how they're developing new products, motivating staff and growing their business. Plus, there are business tips from Haig's Chocolate and we'll assess one of your startup ideas in elevator pitch. Let's kick it all off though with news you can use. Australia Post recently asked over 10,000 Australians why they love shopping online. The most common responses were that it's cheaper, has free shipping and is incredibly convenient. A big part of that convenience is the ability to try purchases out and return them if they're not quite right, with 40% of people sending online purchases back, very quickly too. The same research shows that 91% of people making a return will send the item back within a week of receiving it. So who pays for that postage? Most consumers believe they should only bear the cost of returns if they bought a range of products with the intention to send some back. However, if the product is defective, poor quality or doesn't fit, consumers think the business should pay for returns. While this may seem a bit stiff for small business, it's important to meet your customers' expectations with a clear and visible returns policy. That way, everyone will be on the same page. This segment brought to you by Australia Post. Robotic Systems is an innovative business that builds flying robots for industry. Their greatest challenge now is finding the time to develop something new. Mechanitronics engineer Adam Amos is doing it all, from sales and marketing to research and development. So we sent him business expert Glenn Carlson to give his advice on what to do next.
So Adam, tell us a bit about Robotic Systems.
So Robotic Systems builds flying robots. If you can imagine a robot from the toy shop and a robot that's on a production line, we've kind of brought those two together to building very large, very tough robots for industry.
But airborne?
But in the air.
So Adam, this is fascinating. Tell me a bit about the aircraft.
This aircraft has got a couple of unique features. It can handle very harsh weather conditions and it can fly for very long distances at great speed. It can also carry significant amounts of weight, which will open it up to applications in mining, where it can fly around very, very large mining sites. It can also carry very heavy loads to be used in agriculture, and being able to spray paddocks from the air. Another application that they're really excited about is being able to transport medical supplies to remote communities.
So this is really a whole new realm of possibility and technology for big industry. What would you say has been one of the big breakthroughs in your business?
So the opportunity to work with Intel in Australia. We did the game of drones at Martin Place for Vivid. In that, we got an opportunity to really showcase our technology and our capabilities to the whole world.
So you're a successful small business. What are some of the big challenges, though, that you're experiencing that are in between where you are now and that really compelling vision?
Finding the time to actually manage developing something new is very difficult.
Where would you say most of your time is going at the moment?
Earning money, developing.
So you're doing the sales?
Yeah, the sales.
Research development?
Yep, the marketing.
And the delivery of the actual product itself?
Yep, as well as keeping the lights on.
So you're the chief cook and bottle washer?
Yeah.
As is everybody else on your team?
That's it.
Okay, got it. From everything I'm hearing, you've got 3 engineers in the company. You've got an amazing product which is in billion-dollar mining companies. You're working with Intel. You're clearly leaders of your field. The big hole that I'm seeing is that your time in terms of an engineer and an expert in avionics, systems automation, is not in the sales and marketing side of your business. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah. So the challenge that you guys are going to have is coming to terms with the fact that the next person that needs to come onto your team, and they need to come on soon, and I'm talking within the next month or so, is you need a sales and marketing person. And I would believe that with that right person, you would be able to get yourself to an order of magnitude growth within the next 12 to 18 months tops, where your biggest problem is then going to become delivery and fulfillment of these products.
After the break, Glenn gives Adam a valuable tip for cash flow. Don't go anywhere. Before the break, Glenn suggested hiring a sales and marketing person. Now, let's hear what that could help achieve.
Let's assume you get that new team member on board, right, and they start unlocking that next level of growth through the sales and marketing side, because you've got the engineering covered. Let's say that inbound demand starts happening. What else would need to change to be able to facilitate that next phase of growth?
Yeah, I mean, managing the costs of that. Right now, a lot of the money, in fact, most of the money is devoted to developing products.
Yeah.
It would probably be somewhat of a mindset change for us as engineers to start spending money on things that aren't hardware.
And it's really interesting because I put it to you, it's not just a mindset thing for engineers. I come across business owners all the time that are spending all of their time, money, energy and effort, not only on the sales side, but in developing products that they haven't yet sold. The real trick is to be able to go out and sell before the product is fully developed, to be able to create some interaction with the customer so they can have some input in terms of what that final product is going to look like. The key is to find someone who has that Rolodex, who has that opportunity that could bring in enough orders quickly, right? So those pre-orders start to cover their wage and offer a surplus as well. Right? The moment you get that balance of your developing product that you're selling and you're bringing new business in, right? Even if it's going to take 3 to 6 months before delivery, because of the unique niche nature of your product, it's not going to be unreasonable to have pre-orders that far out, with prepayments that far out, creating the cash flow you need not only to develop your product and get you and your team focusing on what they should be focusing on, but also to be able to afford to be able to pay the sales and marketing department to actually grow this thing. So how do you see the transition going as you grow from you being a product specialist to having to run a larger and a growing business?
So I would take an approach of still being very much a part of the day-to-day building and development of systems, but I'd also start to take on more of a management role.
And I guess the beauty of the times that we live in is you actually can build a flat structure like that, because I see the real value in this business is having you in the technical details of the product development. You've already inspired some of the biggest industries in Australia and the world, people like Intel, to be able to get behind you to support the development of this product. So from my perspective, I think you've got a very bright future.
Thank you.
To learn more, visit intel.com.au/businessbuilders. This drone technology could just change communities and our way of life. It's a great story, isn't it? And some good tips came out of it, Anna.
You know, I think the advice of getting a business development manager or a sales and marketing manager would really help his business. You know, we worked with Adam during the Vivid Festival, so we worked with him for about 20 nights during Vivid, and really him and his whole team, they were fantastic. But then 20 nights, they're with us the whole time. So, you know, really what business was developed during that 20-night period. So I think the advice of getting a sales and marketing manager to develop their business is really very critical.
And this is the classic case of a bunch of owners who love their business, who are great geeks in the nicest sense of the word, but just need that sales and marketing grunt so they don't need to worry about it. That's not their job, is it, or their specialty?
No.
Really exciting future. Thanks, Anna. Now, elevator pitch. We have received such a massive response from this. Keep it coming. We love your ideas. Let's see what we've got this week.
I'm Nigel, founder of Expense Check. 89% of SMEs research suppliers online, but less than a quarter are on the best deals. Why? It's just not that easy. Who wants to receive 10 cold calls from 8 electricity suppliers every day? Or spend 56 minutes on hold to Vivaldi just to renew your office insurance? Or even spend 4 hours using a comparison site to compare a comparison site for your new mobile contract? How about you get a notification sent directly to your mobile when it's time to save, and change with one click? We do it smarter. The platform pulls a business's actual live data directly from their accounting software, compares it against the market, and tells them which supplier they should be with in real time. We have a live product, we have customers, we have partners, and we have revenue. We are poised to explode globally with the growth of cloud accounting. Expenses? They just got simple.
Oh, that sort of captured my imagination. I reckon there could be something in that.
Yeah, I think, a lot of things there, SMEs that's very time poor, when can they get online, lots of things that he was trying to cover off, their big challenges that they have, and then, providing a very easy solution in a timely manner. So I think it's got some legs.
Yeah, Ben, from what I can gather, he's going to data mine your accounting records and then go and match up to see whether you're getting the best deal on your major expenses. So it's automatically doing it for you rather than you sign up to a one big switch or whatever.
Yeah, and it's really exciting because small businesses really want to do two things: drive revenue or save cost. So anything that can really save them cost and take the onus off them saving cost is brilliant.
I would have been a little bit interested in knowing a little bit more about how the data mining actually works, especially if it's coming from someone's accounting software. For me, as a business owner, I would think, well, how are they going to be able to get into my accounting software to pull that data? So that kind of raised a little bit of a flag for me. But as a whole, I think that it's a pretty cool business.
Couple of hurdles to get the trust issue. Can I trust you to get into my accounting software? And also, clarifying some of the points. Is it waiting for renewals or will you alert us straight up? But hey, we love it. Coming up, we find out how Emma and Tom's have taken control of the health food space. You'll never guess what they're doing to get 40% growth year on year. Emma and Tom's is a fantastic food and beverage business in the health space, and I first caught up with them on KBB 3 years ago. Today, we catch up with co-founder Tom Griffith to find out how they've grown, how they develop new products, and how business partners NAB have helped them along the way.
So Tom, you're a decade into this fantastic business adventure now. Has it been everything you hoped it would be?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and yeah, we're very old entrepreneurs when we started at 40 years old, but it's been a real journey, and we're now thinking we're sort of 10 years down a 30-year track.
Now, Kochie was down here about 3 years ago. How's the business changed since then?
It's morphed. We've probably doubled in size in 3 years.
You're constantly tweaking and changing your products. What's that process look like?
I mean, we do it very much on the kitchen table ourselves. We work it up, we commercialise it, and then we can do small runs and launch it via our fleet of vans. If it works, go full bore.
And how about testing it? Because, consumers can be pretty fickle, particularly in the health food space. How do you identify the next product to develop?
We travel, we look around, and we also investigate sort of new ingredients ourselves. We're the first to use spirulina in a green juice. We're the first to use chia seeds in a bar. So we try and pick the trends and move.
Tom, are there any products that you've developed out of personal interest or desire?
Yeah, absolutely. The teas were a real, I suppose, project of ours. We wanted to do a really great brewed tea. It was exceptionally hard to do properly, so we actually have now worked out how we can brew tea. We actually make 1,000 litres of tea, filter it off, and then add a little bit of fruit juice. So it contains all the antioxidants of green tea.
Your staff, what's your business ethos? How do you get people to come along for this journey with you?
All of our team really behave like business owners. They have to. We've got offices in Brisbane, Sydney, Perth and Melbourne. We can't be there all the time. So they're very autonomous, and they've really sort of often learnt their jobs and developed themselves through their career as we've grown. And I suppose our ultimate aim is to hire somebody who's better than us at doing our job.
One of the big calls you made early on was taking on your distribution in-house. Is that achievable for other small businesses to do early in the piece?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the more you do yourself, the better you do. And you get much closer to your customer and you have complete control.
What have been your biggest business challenges along the journey?
We're growing at sort of 40% year on year, so that provides a lot of challenges. We've got to sort of continually update ourselves, have a look at where we're going, otherwise things can race on.
Now, a lot of people don't like to name the businesses after themselves because the exit does come and have to pass that on. Do you think that's been a benefit or will be a hindrance for you in time?
I think it's been a benefit. We did it because we wanted to make our weakness, it was just Emma and Tom, into our strength. And the brand's now got a life of its own. I mean, Emma and I can walk down Collins Street and no one stares and goes, there's Emma and Tom. It doesn't require us to be around doing a Branson, which is great.
So Tom, you've experienced tremendous growth here. What have been the most important business relationships in scaling up and financing that growth?
I mean, as we've grown, because Emma and I are the only two shareholders, so we've really had a very strong business partnership with the NAB and our business banker, Ryan, who's basically been over the business the whole time and really just run alongside us.
What are the most important things to get the most out of that relationship?
He's always felt he's been fully informed for either, both the good news and the bad news. And, he can deal with that now.
Is that transparency important right across the business?
Completely. He's really been running alongside us the whole way through. He gets it, he understands it. We keep him updated the whole time, so he feels like he's over the business.
Looking back on the last 10 years, what's your proudest business achievement?
I think, look, even right now, we've got a great team of 50 people. We've got 23 nationalities. Everyone, I suppose, now combines like a pretty well-oiled machine. So to, I suppose, built the entity has been great. And obviously, we're very proud of the brand. It's like having a baby.
The health food market and the juice market in particular has exploded over the last decade. How have you gone about holding on to your market share?
I mean, you've got to look at different pipelines. I mean, we're always continually looking at new opportunities. Keep up with the trend, new products. I mean, healthy snacking today is a massive area, which we've obviously got into pretty well with our life bars. So it's about, I suppose, just being nimble.
What's the best piece of business advice that you've received along the journey?
When we first launched, people said to us it was all about distribution. And what we've worked out recently is that it really, really, really is all about distribution.
Fantastic. And your advice for other entrepreneurs? Heading into the health food space, perhaps?
No, I always say it's been a lot of fun. We've had a ball, and it's an opportunity to have in your life to do your own thing. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Tom, you're an inspiration for any entrepreneurs coming to business late. Thanks a lot for sharing your story with us.
No, thank you very much. Thank you.
This Entrepreneur in the Spotlight brought to you by NAB. Now, Tom's maintained a big focus on distribution and says that while it can be more expensive, keeping control lets you stay close to the customer. Good advice for all of us. Now it's time for Lessons from Legends with Haig's Chocolates, and then a tech tip to keep you moving.
Hi, I'm Alistair Haig, Chief Executive of Haig's Chocolates, and the tips I'd like to share today are firstly to innovate, but at the same time make sure that you are consistent with your branding so you don't confuse your customers. Secondly, to maintain your quality and don't compromise on that. And thirdly, to hire the best people possible when you can. So these complement your skills and take your company to the next level.
It's Tech Tip time with Val Quinn.
While you may already have a website, adding the ability to buy or sell on your site is surprisingly easy. It gives you the ability to make sales 24/7, which is great. It's even easy to set up and manage a live chat feature, which can increase sales and reduce bounce rates. Now, a good tip is to build shipping costs into your pricing. After all, according to a study by Synchronicity Financial, 75% of shoppers say they're more likely to choose a retailer with free shipping. Now, there are plenty of products out there. I happen to like BigCommerce or Shopify, but you can do some research online and find a solution that's right for you. And remember that the delivery method and the type of packaging can have a huge part on your customer's experience and reflect your brand. So keep in mind that your package should look great and even offer a surprise to your customer.
All right, time to answer another of your questions, this time from Gary via email. Gary says, look, I've recently launched a new clothing and streetwear brand. I believe I have good branding and I'm selling a few products, but I want to take the next step. Please help, Gary. A very common question. Helping us is Dirk van Lammeren, who is the boss of small business from Australia Post. And Dirk, again, those growth pains are really common amongst all small business owners, aren't they?
Yeah, of course. But Gary's actually in a very good category. Our research shows us that fashion has grew 12% over the last 2 years. It's actually the biggest category in online selling. So he couldn't be in a better place. And when taking a next step, the usual thing you would do is actually, how can I expand in terms of customers? And establishing a brand is not easy. So leverage that. Use social media to amplify the brand and get more people to talk about it. Because it's not what you say about your brand, it's what others say about your brand.
Yep.
There's a lot you can do with brands to enhance the experience. Look at the rich video content. How do you actually talk about your designers? Content drives traffic and content drives conversion. If you really want to dial up your sales, be prepared from logistics point of view. Customers tell us that they want an easy checkout without too many barriers, and give them options. They want choice and flexibility.
Yep. Okay, so it's all about knowing your customer and what they want, and you've got to deliver, don't you?
Exactly.
They want immediate shipping, you've got to give them immediate shipping.
Yep, exactly.
Gary, hopefully that helps. If you want any more information, we've got heaps of marketing ideas on the website. Go to kbbtv.com.au. We'll catch you next time. Coming up on next week's show, we learn how to accelerate the growth of your business, catch up with the woman behind a booming muesli empire, and get some tips from publisher extraordinaire Lisa Messenger.